I do need a pen. I was gonna bring my, oh, thank you. I was gonna bring mine, I've got one.
Yeah, it's 11:24. These are fine to be paid, thanks.
Do we just have to sign the top page, that's it, on this?
That's all I did. I haven't seen
Is there any,
Yeah, I think so.
everything else is it? There you go, Curtis, thank you. Oh. There you go, Kevin.
Thank you.
Is it just one page?
Yeah.
Oh, it's on that.
Okay, it is 5:30. I will call to order the annual school board budget meeting, February 13th. Tim Sorgi, chair. Present.
Yes.
Dan.
Dan Bianchino, I'm sorry. Dan, yes, well, no, maybe I'm not present. Yes, I am present.
Curtis Coleman.
Okay, so we will hold a public hearing on the proposed 24-25 budget. Did you want to go over the budget, Kevin?
Sure. Sure, so there are two documents for the general public. One is the warrant itself with the articles, and the other is the budget. So for the general public, Sarah, on the left-hand side, you'll see numbers corresponding to each of the lines. So if you have any question, feel free to ask away. So lines 1 through 9 are related to the tuition contracts with Conway, and you'll see pretty significant drop, and that's based upon the formula of ADM, which is your average daily membership, which counts for 65% of the operational costs, and then 35% based upon your equalized valuation. Here's another document, Sarah. I gave these guys this last time, but it'll tell you the number of students at each level that are built in. So this year you have 34.15 elementary students, and that's down from 42 last year. You have 15.89 middle school students, which is up 4 students. I have extra copies if you guys want them. And then you have 21 high school students. So you have a total of 57.89 students in the budget for this year. And your rates that you're paying are $13,132 for high school students. And you have $21,493 for middle school. And then at elementary school, $13,926. You'll notice on lines 5 and 6, the bond has been retired. This year is the last year. The payments, so you'll see those are zeroed out. And then by contract, you do pay into the trust fund at the elementary, middle, and the high school. So you'll see your tuition is down about $380,000, which is a good thing. If you have questions, feel free to ask.
Where did all the kids go?
They're all over the place. They're just dropping enrollment from last year.
Huge drop
Yeah.
over the last few years.
About 25 students.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have 10 that are enrolled in the charter schools. 6 at Northeast Woodland and 3 at Robert Frost. You have some students who are homeschooling still. So yeah, it's been a decline in Albany.
Yeah, but the homeschool kids, does the district have any contact with all those kids?
To be honest with you, homeschool students used to have to report to.
Right, but it's gotten a lot looser.
Right. So we do not, unless they participate in like co-curricular. So
Yeah.
if there's sports or some of the other pieces, then they can come back.
So does the Department of Education check on those kids or
No,
not?
no. I know. It's tough. They used to
So-
have to come in every
So
summer.
a parent could just say, I'm homeschooling, and that's it.
If they're charter school students, and I'll defer to Pam, but if they have special education costs, those
Yeah.
are built into this. But if they're homeschooled, there's no obligation for
Yeah.
any outside services.
Before we get any political comments.
The next one, lines 10 through 15, those are related to special education. So Pam will sit down and she'll work with the teams to determine what services are required by the IEPs, those individualized educational plans. And those budgets they're based upon the services that are in place now. There's no projection about anticipated services or any of those pieces. So you'll see there are some consultants, some extended school year. So those are for students who we budget that may need services over the course of the summertime. And then there's a special education tuition piece. So again, that could be students who are age 3 that are required services at the preschool level all the way through high school. You'll see line 13, 14, and 15. Again, those are services that are required by IEPs. You'll see psychological services, speech services, and occupational therapy or physical therapy services. Lines 16 through 22 are school board services. So you'll see the whopping salaries for these poor folks who taken on the school board roles. Workers' comp, because they are employees of the district, there is a workers' comp piece. Legal and professional, at the last board meeting, you folks opted to raise that up to $10,500. That's in anticipation of potential needs to get legal services regarding tuition contracts. You'll see the audit. And then you'll see the treasurer, moderator, school board expenses, and then insurance liability piece. So the bulk of the increase there is for legal services. SAU share is $30,356. Pupil transportation, there was a question at the last meeting regarding transportation. So you have a agreement with Tim Eldridge for the services, and then there is a agreement with Conway for Passaconway Road, and that comes out to projected $4,055 for the next year. Last year was $5,200. So depending upon where those, it's based upon mileage for the whole year. So that's where that $114,215 goes. Your actual base contract is $110,160. Capital reserve funds, when we get to the articles, go through, and if that gets approved, that money gets added to the budget at that point. So you'll see your overall budget is down
A lot.
quite a bit.
Good work, guys.
Yeah.
Right.
down about 20%. And then you do get some grants, IDEA, that's special education funds, so those are anticipated funds that get added to the budget, but they're offset with revenue. So that's a walk through your budget.
Yeah.
So, under the transportation, had a conversation with Tim Eldridge and Ann Merrow. And I was under the 114,315 includes the Passaconaway funds that go to Conway, correct?
That includes a budgeted amount of $4,055.
Okay. So I do not have the bus transportation contract with me, but I didn't think that the 24-25 allocated amount was 110. I thought it was lower than that.
I got this from Jim Hill. Last year is $108,000, and this year is $110,160 for the
Okay.
fourth year of the contract.
Okay. I did not think it was that high, and I have, in my conversation with Tim, he thought the 114 number was high. He didn't think it was a need to have that much money budgeted. And in my discussions with Ann, she had suggested a number of 108, but if that's not gonna cover the transportation, then that's, I'll go home and check my numbers. And then if there's an adjustment that has to be made there, we can,
Amend the budget down at the annual meeting if you
Yeah.
choose to.
yeah. I just,
Is it possible that he wasn't taking into consideration the Passaconaway Road?
he doesn't do that.
Right, but I mean, was it, when he saw the 114, I wonder if he was thinking that was for him, not for
Yeah, but
both.
that wouldn't be, he wouldn't like weigh in on that one way or the other. He probably wouldn't even know what the cost of that is. It's possible that Ann or I had an oversight with that as well, because I didn't see that. I just made a note. I didn't actually see the Passaconaway as a separate item in here. And what did you say that number is, Kevin? 4,000?
Projected at $4,055,
Okay.
which is down from $5,200 last year. And again, if a student doesn't live all the way out by the parking lot, and I think that's what it was students move in and out of Albany.
Yeah, they only go to Red Eagle Road anyway. They don't go any further. Conway bus. And I don't even know if there's any kids. Some junior high kids maybe.
Sarah, do you have any other questions or comments about the budget?
What's the drop impact gonna be on the school tax side? Not the, do you have a percentage or anything?
I don't have the projected revenue at this point. That has to be,
The state revenue will probably be about the same,
yeah, typically.
yeah. I just personally hope those kids that are being homeschooled are being homeschooled well. I would imagine some of them at least are.
That's typically what would happen, is it either works very well or
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
You guys have any comments or
I don't,
questions on the budget?
Yeah.
Okay.
nothing's changed since last meeting pretty much, so.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the numbers are there, was just the extra 7,000 was added in.
Do you wanna go over the other articles?
Okay, I thought that was a little bit further down in the,
Well, as far as the hearing goes, you'd
Okay.
go over the articles at this time. We just went over 5, so maybe Article 6.
Okay. Article 6 of the Albany School District warrant, to see if the school district will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $15,000 to be placed in the capital reserve fund for special education previously established for this purpose. Majority vote is required. It's recommended by the school board 3-0-0. Article 7, to see if the residents of Albany are in favor of directing the Albany School Board to notify the Conway School District to terminate the 7-8 tuition agreement that expires in June 2027. This would provide the 3-year notice as required in the existing tuition agreement with Conway. This article is advisory only and is non-binding. Majority vote required. Recommended by the school board also at 3-0-0. Article 8, to see if the residents of Albany are in favor of directing the Albany School Board to notify the Conway School District to terminate the 9-12 tuition agreement that expires in June 2027. This would provide the 3-year notice as required in the existing tuition agreement with Conway. This article is advisory only and is non-binding. Majority vote required. Also recommended by the school board 3-0-0. Article 9, to transact any other business that may legally come before this meeting.
Are there meetings with Conway these days on the tuition contracts?
If I hold a gun to their head, yeah. They're very non-responsive.
Yeah.
We've had a little bit of, made a little bit of inroads with them. And I get it, they're very, very busy. There is you read the newspapers and whatever. There's a ton of stuff going on in Conway. So they get a lot going. I think we're a little bit anxious to try to get something done. We did present them with a memorandum of understanding, and Ryan Wallace, who was the point person that I usually just communicate with to simplify things, he shared it with the other members of the board that are part of the negotiations, and that was just
what was the memorandum? What did that say?
I can't tell you. Negotiations are always, they're not public,
Okay,
but
so
once we get to the point where
it wasn't like we want to stay with you, but okay, that's fine.
I can't comment on that.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do think that the board will, let me put my mind, I do think the board, we're gonna, once it is evident of where Conway stands in all, and so we're gonna bring that information to this meeting in the town, and then we'll make that decision based on that, right?
Yeah.
So, until then, it's, this routine, and Conway does have a lot of,
I was on the board and
So,
doing all that.
and we're just gonna look at, it's just gonna be numbers and what we wanna do.
Yeah.
And we're gonna make the decision based on that. And if we wanna go a certain way, we go that way. If we wanna go the other way, we go the other way. That's, and I'm not speaking just for myself, but, that's the long and short of it, so, I would think.
There's a lot of moving pieces here. If Conway closes an elementary school and they move the 6th grade, to the middle school, how are people gonna feel about that? Which school gets closed, and, then there's gonna be more kids that are spread out amongst 2 schools that used to be at 3. So there's a lot of things for people to weigh out regarding this, and everything just seems to be happening right now.
There might be a little more clarity after this next cycle through the town meetings and the elections and the budgets and all that stuff. And we might have, might be a little more progress after that whole.
I would say clarity is 14 months out,
Yeah.
if I was to guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It is frustrating because I think we've, especially Tim, has been very proactive trying to get the ball going with negotiations and stuff, and it's been difficult. But it is what it is. So.
Yeah, and Conway's gone through some changes on their board too, which that doesn't help.
Yeah.
Because you start out dealing with some people, and then it changes, and then it changes again, and you end up dealing with other people. And everybody kind of has to get brought up to speed. So, we're just doing the best we can with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay. Any other comments or questions about the proposed budget or the warrant articles? Hearing none, we can take a motion to close the public hearing on the proposed budget, 2024-25 proposed budget.
I'll make a motion to close the,
You don't really, you don't,
Yeah.
as a chair, if there's no, you
Okay.
can
Okay.
just declare it closed.
Okay. So we will close the public hearing on the 24-25 proposed budget. Item 2 on the agenda, the approval of the minutes from 1/9/24. Can we get a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of
Yes.
1/9/24.
I'll second it.
Any discussion, concerns, corrections? Hearing none,
Aye.
all in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Third item, public comment.
I would like to thank you guys for your service. It's not always easy, and with the tuition things, that's a lot of work. And I would like to say thank you to Kevin for all his years,
Yeah.
starting out when you were in the voc tech wing there.
100 years ago, yeah.
I know.
When is your last?
June 30th.
June 30th. So you got one more Albany school meeting
Yeah,
at least,
the
right?
annual meeting.
Yeah. The annual meeting, that's right.
Yeah,
Okay, any board member comment? Hearing none. Article 4 is signing of the checks and manifest. That's been done. Item 5 is business affairs. Vote on the warrant articles.
That's just a placeholder in case there were any amendments that you wanted to change anything.
Okay.
So if you want to change any votes, you're all 3-0 at this point, but
You're good. Signing of the warrant and budget forms.
so I have a couple of forms so that we can post the warrant. Sign 2 places on each one of these sheets, please. And then next we just print your name, school board, signature, please.
Do you have to sign both of these?
Yes, yeah,
Did I?
yeah.
I believe
The second
that,
form is for the department.
Thank you.
Ed, it's the MS-26.
Do you
You gotta do the second page as well?
It
There's 2
says-
pages.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's okay, I'll leave,
Alright, so these are good.
pass those back to you. Okay, next item on the agenda, superintendent's report.
Just a couple quick things. SEU 9 board meeting this Thursday. It'll be the third of 3 presentations on the SEU 9 report card. So that will be a piece. The STEM Expo, that's a science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, is putting together an expo. Years ago, we used to have a science fair where there'd be 300, and it was at the Tech Village. This year, it's for the second year, kind of coming off the COVID, bigger place, at Living Shores Aquarium on March 20th. And there are 104 students this year that are participating, which is up from about 40 last year. That's a good thing. Superintendent search is underway. I know Curtis is on there, and they're moving forward, as well as a couple of other administrative positions. The Kennett Middle School principal position is being advertised, so we'll be moving on that. And the career tech director position is being advertised currently. Other than that, it's budget time. I don't know if anybody has any questions.
Item 7, any other business? Did you want to say anything about the superintendent search committee?
It's
or-
just ongoing, so anything, it's preliminary, to really get into a whole lot. So I mean, it's just an ongoing process.
Okay, we have
It's
a
going
fair
well.
amount of candidates. And,
Yeah, there was,
yeah.
I think, 8,
Okay.
9. So we narrowed it down, and then we're in the process of the interviewing.
I don't think I've ever seen a time when so many retirements have happened at a higher level in the district ever. I mean, I just don't. I mean, you've got Bartlett principal, you've got superintendent, you've got principal at Kennett Middle School. I know there was a shift, but principal at the Pine Tree. What else?
The career tech director.
Career tech director. Some changes in the SAU budget.
We've had a good run for a number of years
Yeah.
with stability. Probably have to go back to late 90s, early 2000s, and there's a big shift at that point.
Mm.
Okay, so the next date for the full Albany School Board meeting will be April 9th at 5:30 p.m. And in March, we have the school district meeting prior to town meeting, March 12th. That will be at 7 p.m. Item 8, public comment. Hearing none, no non-public session. Item 10, we get a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Yes.
Very good.